Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hey, welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have a good show for you tonight. Right here behind me is Sean Beeman of Genesis Farms, a medical product supplier. We'll be talking to him tonight. Right off to the side, we've got Eric Llewellyn. Hey, Eric.
What's up, brother?
And then over in the wings tonight, we have Timothy Edwards on. Timmy.
How's it going, Paul?
Very well, very well. How are you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
Thanks for getting here in short notice here. And we have some film clips about Genesis Farms and maybe some words from Jorge Cervantes and a lot of hemp news to start off the show right after our infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves.
I feel the force.
Okay, our first story tonight's from Washington, D.C., a very important one. Just yesterday, Senators Cory Gardner, a Republican of Colorado, and Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat of Massachusetts, introduced bipartisan legislation called the Strengthening the 10th Amendment Through Entrusting States, acronym STATES Act of 2018, to remove the threat of federal intervention and prosecution in states that regulate marijuana use and sales. A bipartisan House companion bill was introduced by Representative David Joyce, a Republican from Ohio, and River City's own Earl Blumenauer, a Democrat from right here in Portland, Oregon. This will mark the first bicameral bipartisan legislation in the federal enforcement of prohibition in states that have reformed their marijuana laws. Specifically, this legislation creates an exemption to the Controlled Substances Act for U.S. states and territories that have reformed their laws with regard to marijuana policy, effectively restraining undue federal interventions. Maintains federal legislative provisions, the guardrails to deter interstate trafficking of marijuana into prohibition states from legal states, the prevention of those under 18 from working in the cannabis industry, the prevention of those under 21 from purchasing marijuana unless recommended by a state qualified physician to treat a medical condition. Unsafe production conditions. It provides greater flexibility for lawmakers in non-legal states to reform their laws in a manner that reflects the will of their constituents and regulates cannabis commerce. Provides for the ability for cannabis businesses to obtain basic banking services, and removes industrial hemp from the Controlled Substances Act. With the introduction of the STATES Act by Senators Warren and Gardner, the movement to end the federal government's failed policy of cannabis criminalization has truly become a bipartisan effort. The majority of states now regulate marijuana use, and more than 6 out of 10 voters endorse legalizing the plant's use by adults, making it time for the federal government to no longer stand in the way of this progress at the state level. Our esteemed leader, President Trump, made a commitment to Senator Gardner that he would support a federalist approach to state marijuana laws. Now Congress must do its part and swiftly move forward on this bipartisan legislation that explicitly provides states with the authority and autonomy to set their own marijuana policies absent the fear of federal incursion from the U.S. Justice Department, led by a militant cannabis prohibitionist, Attorney General Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. Today, when Trump was asked if he supported the bill, Trump said, quote, "I really do. I support Senator Gardner. I know exactly what he's doing. We're looking at it, but we'll probably end up supporting that. Yes," end quote. Never in modern history has there existed greater public support for ending the nation's nearly century-long experiment with marijuana prohibition. The continued criminalization of adult marijuana use is out of step with the views of adults throughout America, 93% of whom support medical marijuana, according to a Quinnipiac 2017 poll, and 64% of those endorsed the outright legalization of recreational cannabis, according to a Gallup poll last year. 30 states and Washington, D.C., and the U.S. territories of Guam and Puerto Rico have enacted legislation specific to physician-authorized use of cannabis, while an estimated 63 million Americans now reside in jurisdictions where anyone over the age of 21 may possess cannabis legally. Voters overwhelmingly support these policy changes. According to a newer 2018 Quinnipiac poll, 63% of Americans support full marijuana legalization, and 70% believe that states, not the federal government, should set marijuana policy. To date, these statewide regulatory programs are operating largely as voters and politicians intended. The enactment of these policies have not negatively impacted workplace safety, crime rates, traffic safety, or youth use patterns. They've stimulated economic development and created hundreds of millions of dollars in new tax revenue. Specifically, a 2017 report estimates that over 149,000 Americans are now working full-time in the cannabis industry. Tax revenues from states like Colorado, Oregon, and Washington now exceed initial projections. Further, numerous studies have identified an association between cannabis access and lower rates of opioid use, abuse, hospitalization, and mortality. Our next story tonight is from Princeton, New Jersey. Over 6 in 10 Americans believe that it's morally permissible for adults to use cannabis regardless of the plant's legal status, according to nationwide polling data compiled by Gallup. Pollsters reported that 65% of respondents personally believe that smoking marijuana is morally acceptable. 31% define the behavior as morally wrong. The Gallup data represents a significant shift in Americans' attitudes. According to prior data compiled by the Pew Research Center, only 10% of Americans in 2006 agreed that cannabis use was morally acceptable. Survey data compiled by Gallup in 2017 reported that 64% of Americans, including majorities of self-identified Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, believe that the adult use of marijuana should be legal, the highest percentage ever recorded by the polling firm. Our next story tonight is from the Rocky Mountain High State. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper vetoed the latest attempt to give recreational cannabis consumers in Colorado someplace aside from private residences where they can legally use the marijuana they've been legally buying since the beginning of 2015. Hickenlooper erroneously claimed that a bill he vetoed, HB 18-1258, which would have allowed tasting rooms where customers of marijuana shops could sample the merchandise, puts the public at risk. As for endangering others, Hickenlooper worries that HB 18-1258 sends the wrong message by, quote, by permitting people to consume marijuana in a public setting, a practice that may increase the number of impaired drivers on our roadways, end quote, Governor Hickenlooper said. The same logic, of course, condemns bars, restaurants, and other businesses that serve alcohol, including, perhaps not coincidentally, Wynkoop Brewing Company, a Denver brew pub that Hickenlooper founded 3 decades ago. In fact, given that alcohol has much more dramatic impact on driving ability than cannabis does, establishments like Governor Hickenlooper's Wynkoop pose a bigger hazard to public safety. The sponsors of HB 18-1258 had hoped that the idea of marijuana tasting rooms would make sense to Hickenlooper because of his experience with his own business, which not only serves beer along with other food and mixed liquor drinks, but offers brewery tours that include samples of Wynkoop's products. Instead, he's insisting on an irrational distinction between beer and bud in the name of enforcing a ballot initiative that says, quote, marijuana should be regulated in the same manner similar to alcohol, end quote. Hopefully Hickenlooper will come along, but we'll see. Our next story is from Salt Lake City, Utah. Utah state regulators have certified a voter-initiated medical cannabis access measure for the 2018 ballot. Officials announced last week that proponents had gathered nearly 154,000 validated initiative signatures from registered voters, far exceeding the total necessary to place the measure before a statewide vote. The Utah Medical Cannabis Act permits qualified patients to obtain either herbal cannabis or cannabis-infused products from a limited number of state-licensed dispensaries. Both the Utah Medical Association and Republican Governor Gary Herbert have publicly opined against the measure. Nonetheless, public support in favor of the initiative remains strong, with 77% of Utahns either strongly or somewhat endorsing the plan, according to a UtahPolicy.com poll. Voters in Oklahoma will also decide on a medical access initiative in a special election coming up in about 2 weeks on Tuesday, June 26. By a margin of nearly 2-1, Oklahoma voters support the passage of State Question 788, according to polling data reported last week. Voters in 2 other states, Michigan and Missouri, will also decide on Election Day in November whether statewide marijuana reform initiatives will move forward. Recent polling from those states find majority public support for all 3 measures. Our next story is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Patients suffering from intractable pain, post-traumatic stress, and other medical conditions are now eligible in Louisiana to receive medical cannabis access under newly enacted legislation. Louisiana's House Bill 627 expands the pool of patients eligible to receive cannabis therapy to include those with symptoms of autism spectrum disorder, such as self-injuring behavior or an inability to communicate with others. Utah House Bill 579 further expands the patient pool to include those with glaucoma, intractable pain, defined as pain so chronic or severe as to otherwise warrant an opiate prescription, and Parkinson's disease, PTSD, and severe muscle spasms. Under Utah's nascent medical marijuana access law, 2 companies have been selected to produce cannabis-infused medicines, which will be dispensed via 9 pharmacies throughout the state. Qualified patients in Louisiana are expected to begin having access to cannabis products by this fall. Our next story is from Cleveland, Ohio. More than 2/3 of chronic pain patients registered to legally access medical cannabis products substitute marijuana for prescription opioids, according to data published in the Journal of Headache and Pain. Investigators from the United States and Canada assessed the use of medical cannabis and prescription drugs in a cohort of over 2,000 Canadian patients licensed to access marijuana products. Among those patients with a primary diagnosis of chronic pain, 73% reported substituting cannabis in place of opioids. Among those patients diagnosed specifically with headache, migraine, cannabis was frequently reported as a substitute for other medications. The study's authors concluded, quote, most patients in the pain group reported replacing prescriptions with medicinal cannabis, the most common of which were opioids or opiates across all patient groups. This is notable given the well-described opioid-sparing effect of cannabinoids and growing abundance of literature suggesting that cannabis may help in weaning from these medications and perhaps provide a means of combating the opioid epidemic, end quote. This study, Patterns of Medicinal Cannabis Use, Strain Analysis, and Substitution Effect among Patients with Migraine, Headache, Arthritis, and Chronic Pain in a Medicinal Cannabis Cohort, appears in the Journal of Headache and Pain. That's the end of our Hemp News segment for tonight, and Timmy Edwards is ready to go. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming back.
So the song I'm going to do today is called My Own Island. It is off of my first album, Still Growing, Cuts of Cannabis. You can find it online. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, I think the sound will be going.
You know, it's almost summertime, so this is kind of a chill on the beach style. I think that was the end of the song, actually, so you might want to start that over, please. It's all good.
The control room is busily... There it goes.
I wish I was rich so I could buy my own island, tropical paradise. Let up my Hawaiians see me in the sky on a private jet flying, throwing out bags of weed worldwide. Now I wish I was rich so I could buy my own island, tropical paradise. Let up my Hawaiians see me in the sky on a private jet flying, throwing out bags of weed worldwide. These all-night parties, smoking out some bomb weed, marijuana plants, they be looking like some palm trees. No caviar, but we could barbecue. Have a luau, just me and my crew. Beauties in bikinis, I need about 20. Playing in the sunshine, sipping on some moonshine. Chilling, relaxing, here to have a good time. They can come to my place, we can unwind. Peace and love, drama, you won't find an influential mind. Yeah, I'm still on the grind. My 9 to 5 goes from PM to AM. Party, sleep, wake up, do it again. Living my life, having fun with my friends. On a mission, steady stacking those ends. It's money on the mind in the ruthless business. Roll a split, take a hit, exhale success. It's money over ladies, but I progress. It's God over everything, relieving my stress. It's not magic, no hocus pocus. I'm destined for greatness, believe I stay focused. Dreams of stacking cream, seizing the moment. Every moment stacking cream, seizing the dream. Eliminate poverty, everybody equally wealthy. Everybody feeling healthy. See, I wish I was rich so I could buy my own island, tropical paradise. Let up my Hawaiians see me in the sky on a private jet flying, throwing out bags of weed worldwide. Now I wish I was rich so I could buy my own island, tropical paradise. Let up my Hawaiians see me in the sky on a private jet flying, throwing out bags of weed worldwide. I have to do a little promotion here. I'm gonna be coming down here on July 1st. If you guys don't know about Hemp Aid, we're doing a special event right here to bring back hemp stock. And Timmy is going to be at Hemp Aid July 1st. The whole event is June 30th and July 1st. Make sure you guys come out that. Shout out to Sean Beeman over here. I met Sean Beeman last year at Oregon Hemp Fest.
Throwing out bags of money worldwide, man.
It was 110 degrees. There was no beach,
Worldwide,
no
man.
water, but there was a lot of dabs, and we had a good time.
All right.
Good job, Timmy.
Yeah, good job, Jimmy. Hey, welcome in, Sean.
Thank you.
It's good
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you
me,
on
Paul.
here, and good to see you,
So,
bro.
brother, how you doing?
Eric Llewellyn. So you have a company, Genesis Farms, and Farms is with a PH.
Yeah, it's a
And
play
it-
on the word pharmacy.
And so, yeah, and so you're based in Eugene,
Correct?
and so you're producing topicals. I have a sample, which I haven't opened yet, but I just squeezed both sides. And let's see, so this is a topical. Tell us about your products first off.
So our product line focuses on the therapeutic side of cannabis. We make Rick Simpson oil and a myriad of products from Rick Simpson oil.
Boy, that's great. There's a lot of patients who need that Rick Simpson oil.
There are.
So you just spray
It's
this on
sprayed on.
topically?
Yep. So I know you had some aches and pains, so I figured I'd bring
Yeah,
them up for you to try. And
I'm a service-connected, disabled U.S. veteran, and this is one of the
thank
things
you for your
right
service.
here is- You're welcome. Thank you. I know you've done a lot of work with patients. We have a video we're going to run here in a little bit about how you've been working with patients.
yeah, I'm also a veteran, and veterans and children are kind of a soft spot for me.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
really rewarding watching them getting some help and some relief.
Well, this is pretty good. I mean, I can kind of feel a difference. So this is made with RSO.
It is. It's
So-
liquid coconut oil and white grapeseed extract with measured amounts of RSO.
I see. So MCT, what it says it's MCT?
MCT is liquid coconut oil.
Oh, okay, okay. And then cannabis concentrate and white grapeseed extract. Grapeseed is supposed to be really good for you.
It is.
And it's supposed to be a medicine in its own right. I even take grapeseed extract sometimes as a supplement, orally.
Yes.
So tell us more about your product line.
So we're a recreational producer
Uh-huh.
in the new regulatory system, but our focus still is on therapeutic products.
So you're selling to distributors and dispensaries.
Yes, we have distributors, and we're in many of the dispensaries. When,
Uh-huh.
Back in the medical days, we had about an 80% saturation rate, and we're repenetrating this new market.
It sure has changed a lot, hasn't it?
It has changed a lot. And
when did you first start producing your products?
The Rick Simpson oil. So I personally came to Rick Simpson oil 8 years ago. In 2005, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C. I believe I contracted it through going through the air shots in boot camp. 2005, I was pretty late stage. At first, I tried everything that you could find on the internet, from colloidal silver to herbs to prayer and meditation to acupuncture, and really didn't get much relief. It was April 5th of 2010, I took my first dose of RSO and knew from day one that that was what was going to help me to heal. You know, my first...
So you took it orally then?
I took it orally.
And that, how did that feel when you took it orally for the
Well,
first
if you take too much RSO too quickly, it can become uncomfortable, but I literally was fighting for my life.
Yeah.
So I wasn't afraid of a little discomfort. I ate large amounts.
What kind of regimen did you go through? When you say large amounts, you mean like more than 3/10 of a gram, or?
I started with like a 1/4 gram in the morning, and then a 1/4 gram in the afternoon, and then a big dollop before I could stagger to bed and try to sleep it off. But I mean, it was amazing, my path to healing. Day one, my fibromyalgia pain was removed. Week one, my jaundice was gone. The first 90 days, I shed 110 pounds. A few months later, I went in. So prior to...
That's a lot of weight in 90 days.
I was really bloated and really jaundiced. And prior to starting RSO, my doctor had me at grade 4, stage 3 liver cirrhosis and inflammation, which is basically end of life. He told me I had a year or two to live and that my quality of life was over. I think it was probably 10 or 11 months after my first dose of RSO, I went in and we confirmed with a biopsy that complete health had been restored. Grade 1, stage 1. Best news I ever heard from my doctor was when he looked me in the eye and said, well, now you get to die from something else.
All right. That is pretty good news. We take viewers' phone calls, and we have a caller on the line. If you have a question for us tonight, you can call us at 503-288-4442. I was beginning to wonder whether the phones actually worked anymore, but this proves it. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, in your opinion, what is the best strain out right now?
Well, you know, everything's different for different people. I like strains that have a lot of limonene, tend to wake me up. Other people like other things. In terms of popularity in the state, I think Gorilla Glue number 4 is the most popular, and then Blue Dream. And so that's basically in sales. What do you think, Eric?
Green Crack is a favorite of mine that's been floating around, which is a good one. It's a nice sativa.
I don't like that name.
Yeah, the name, no, but it's a good sativa. Yeah.
What about you? What do you think, Sean? What's your favorite?
So my personal favorite strain is and has been for a long time Shishkaberry.
Oh,
it's
yes.
a strain that I popped the seed back in 2002. I've been growing it ever since, and she's kind of my go-to girl. Always has been.
It's tasty. That's kind of like my lemon pledge is.
What's nice is after years of use, I haven't grown tired of it. And you give me some Blue Dream, I'm going to be tired of it after a day or two.
Yeah,
So
I
did that
agree
help
with
you?
that. Yeah, I agree with that. One of my favorite strains is like mostly indica and hybrid. So yeah, like I like kind of like that Granddaddy Purple. That's one of my favorites.
I see.
Yeah. But I like to try strains that work for like nausea when my stomach trains up.
Okay, well,
So,
we'll
yeah.
ask Sean what he thinks of that. But thank you for your call. We appreciate your calling in for us.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been a big fan of your show. So yeah, I finally got through.
Are you in Portland here, or are you outside of the Portland area?
No, actually, I live South Texas. I don't know if you ever heard of McAllen, Texas.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I was born in Texas and lived there till I was 15, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay,
But hey, we're
cool,
glad to have you watching. I go down to Austin a bit myself.
Yeah, Austin is the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thanks for watching. Keep watching.
Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. So what do you guys think about for gastrointestinal ailments? Was there anything in particular you think's better for that? I don't really know myself.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I don't really think that there's any universal answer. Just because I found that Shishkaberry works for me, and that doesn't mean that it works for you.
Yeah.
Everybody responds differently. You know, caffeine jacks you up, but it mellows me out. So who's to say that there is one strain that's going to make everybody's nausea better? I don't think it works like that. I think it's trial and error.
And I bet in South Texas it's hard to find anything to choose from outside of Mexican in general, right? So haven't been in Texas. That's where I started a long time ago. But again, if you have a question for us tonight, call us at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. We'll be taking your calls and questions right up to the top of the hour. So we have a video about veterans in your organization. Tell us a little bit in introducing this video. It's about a 7-minute video.
This video is a few years old. There was a Grow for Vets event that we were sponsors of. And a lot of my crew members are returning Iraqi veterans because RSO seems to do so much for our veterans, well, anyone with PTSD. We've had quite a few veterans that have come back and been unable to leave their house and have received, you know, great healing through cannabis, and then they make good workers.
Yeah. Once you're healthy, that's great. Okay, we're going to run this video and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Stay tuned.
I spent 2.5 years serving in the Army in Iraq.
Did an 11.5-month tour in Iraq.
Desert Storm. Volunteered to go to Baghdad as a replacement.
Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia, Kosovo, Macedonia, 7 total deployments.
The world looks a lot more dangerous to you than it did before. And because of that, it has a tendency to make you hyper vigilant. So that you're paying attention to everything all the time, which is pretty exhausting.
My wife once described me as being broken, and she was right on the money with it.
The constant battles every day, you know, with pain and, you know, depression and suicidal thoughts.
When you come home, it's hard to feel like you're really back home sometimes.
It was suggested that I go see a counselor for my PTSD. Of course, the VA system started throwing all types of prescription drugs at me for pain management, for my temper management, for my sleeplessness, for my lack of appetite.
I hit the bottom. I was drinking, using the pharmaceutical prescriptions the VA prescribed to me, and I almost died. And I got to the point where it just wasn't worth living anymore.
And due to the drugs that they had me on, the pain meds, I flatlined. And they had to Narcan me and get me off of drugs.
We're losing 50+ veterans a day, roughly 18,000 veterans a year to suicide or prescription drug overdose.
More veterans die in a 2-month period than all of the people that died on 9/11. More veterans die every year from prescription drug overdose and suicide than have died in combat in all the years combined since 2001.
Where do you think you would be without cannabis?
I probably wouldn't be here right now.
In a very sad place.
I'd be dead. 100% guarantee I would have killed myself last year.
I've been sober off of opiates and heroin for a year now, and a year ago I remember waking up just crying, you know, just sick of, you know, the lifestyle I was leading. It was either I was going to die doing, you know, drugs, hard drugs, or I was going to save my life using cannabis, and that was the easy option for me.
And I was taking a about 15 pills a day. And once I got started into medical cannabis, that's dropped down to 3. And 2 of those are by choice, a multivitamin, an allergy pill, and the other one's an RSO pill every morning.
With the use of cannabis, I'm able to treat my symptoms on a daily basis and function as a regular person in the world. It puts me in a place where I feel normal again, which is very difficult and doesn't happen all the time.
I don't snap on somebody as often as I would before. I can sit and think through something as to just reacting, you know, a muscle memory that I've learned from being overseas. So it kind of feels nice to be able to slow down and think about things prior to acting out and then suffering repercussions afterwards from damages that you've caused to yourself or others. So.
It just feels good to be able to function, to be able to be a person again.
You know, we're dealing with a natural-based plant substance that's non-toxic, that has some very fascinating psychoactive effects that could be very helpful to the human mood condition. In the state of Oregon and several other states, that PTSD has been approved as a condition for the use of cannabis. Now we're getting somewhere more interesting, because now we're going beyond THC and saying, yeah, you know, something else is happening. It isn't now any longer a temporary effect. We're seeing remarkable improvements in their PTSD. They now are experiencing less triggers. And when they are triggered, their reactions are mild. What we're seeing really is truly the treatment of the PTSD by cannabis.
You could choose the drugs, you could choose the alcohol, or you could switch to cannabis and, you know, and see that life is beautiful and it's what you make of it.
Veterans and moms, doctors use cannabis, and they use it because it's useful, it's functional, and it's good.
Well, if they haven't tried cannabis, maybe to give it a fair shot, because it's medicine, it's not just a recreational drug.
Find someone that will help you. Shoot, call me. I'll help you.
The will to live will always outweigh the ability to die.
Hi, I'm Cassie from Genesis Farms. If you need help immediately, please reach out to the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. You can also text at 838-255. If you'd like to reach out to Grow for Vets, please go to www.growforvets.org. If you'd like to know more about how cannabis can help you, reach out to us at Genesis Farms, www.genesisfarms.com. Thank you for your service.
Okay, well, that's a good video. I think whoever produced it did a good job. I like the way those title credits came rolling in there.
Yeah, they did good work.
Yeah, they did. And that's good work you've been doing helping veterans. That's,
Thank you.
And employing them, too. So you started Genesis Farms, and you got 80%.
We had good saturation rate in the
medical community. But then how has the recreational changes affected your business?
Well, therapeutic products in this new recreational market really require a lot of training, a lot of education.
And the low-wage, quote, bud tender, end quote, they're not really taught anything, but they're expected to be an expert. They're paid minimum wage.
And they're looked at as experts, so they should have some information. So I take education real seriously. I train the bud tenders. I train the owners on the therapeutic uses that are out there. And it's really nice when we get reports of people that have received some honest relief. For example, how's your hand feeling right now?
It's feeling better. I can tell you, I normally have pain there just about all the time, and I don't have it right now. I can hear it snapping, but it's not hurting.
I can hear that too. That doesn't hurt?
No, that doesn't hurt. I've got a bad knee too. I got to put it on my knees.
There you
go.
go.
That's the next thing. I won't do that right now. I think we have a phone call standing by who's been very patient through that whole video. Let's see if we can go ahead and take that phone call. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi.
Hi there.
Me from Texas again. I was at my local pipe and instant shop, and they have a new product. Texas, we have CBD oil legal specifically if you have a doctor's recommendation.
So you're calling from Texas too?
Yes.
Well, welcome.
And you get your certificate or recommendation, then you go to the state, you get your ID, and you become on the CBD oil list. Well, you know, it's strictly regulated. Only about 60,000 people are going to be able to take advantage of it. I was at my shop, and they have gummy bears that are up to 1,000 milligrams of supposedly CBD oil.
Are you in the Austin or San Antonio area?
No, I'm near Tyler. That's
okay.
Middle of East Texas.
Over, yeah, I know. It's over just east of Dallas away. It's about an hour.
Yeah, about 100 miles going towards Shreveport.
It's pretty famous for a mental hospital there and your roses in Tyler,
Right.
Texas. I'm familiar. But so they're selling these CBD products, but you don't need the permit. They're just selling them across the counter.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what they are. And they also sell something that looks a whole lot like weed, but it obviously isn't. I bought that. I didn't get anything except actually the aromatics of it were pretty good.
Watch out. Some of that stuff can harm you. Some of those synthetic marijuana products are not good.
No, I don't do that K7,
Good.
8 garbage.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if you had run across something like gummy bears that was supposedly CBD, or what looks like the bud itself but isn't the bud.
You know, I haven't. I'm here in Oregon, obviously, and I can grow my own. And so I've been growing medical cannabis since 1999. But we have CBD products, but usually they're tested and verifiable. Have you seen any of these, Sean?
There's a plethora of them out there in the
There
states
are.
that don't have regulation. Basically what people are doing is just getting CBD isolate and adding it to their gummy bear recipe.
Right.
And marketing it as a...
So it's as bad as that K2 stuff.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
There is a company out here that just opened up last week or so ago, called it for the Grown Company.
Oh yeah,
they
the
do
chocolate company.
Right, they do a CBD derivative. It's not from the cannabis plant, but they actually opened up a store out here in Portland where you can go in, and it's basically like a little tea house with chocolate fondues, and you can sit around and dip your CBD chocolates, and you don't have to be 21 to go in. It's it's just they just opened it like last week or so. Yeah.
Well, I got to go try that out.
Yeah.
Well, if you can come visit us in Oregon, you can try those out. But I really can't talk about the specifics of what products they might find in your local.
Y'all might have had them there.
What was that?
I was just curious, thinking y'all might have had them there as well.
No, I don't think so. You know, we're a little different here in terms that medical marijuana's been legal since '99 and recreational since 2015.
Yeah. I well remember watching the news of it getting legalized.
Yep.
Well, thanks for what you could help. Y'all
Thank
take
you.
it easy.
Thanks for watching, and feel free to call back in. I'll do a little research, and maybe I'll have some answers on future shows
Cool.
about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling again.
Good night.
Good night. So if you're out there watching anywhere in the world and you want to call us, the number's right there on your screen. It's 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. We have another phone call. Welcome to the show, caller. Oh, no, it's gone. Well, that's okay. We have another video of your garden. It's just under a minute.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and run this 1-minute video of Genesis Farms Farm.
I think this is one of our older medical gardens, but this is a good video.
wish I could transfer that smell through there. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, we often say we wish we had smell-o-vision for our viewers out there as well, you know, but we haven't quite got there. So this is just one of your products here.
It is.
What other products do you have?
So like I said, our primary focus is on Rick Simpson oil. We have a bunch of different varietals that will grow in the garden. Some are high THC and some have high CBD, so I'll have different ratios of THC and CBD, but whole plant concentrate is really so much more than just those two cannabinoids. And from those oils, we will make tinctures and this topical. So we'll have a high THC tincture. We have a high CBD tincture, which contains THC also. This product that we have right here, the personal massage oil, is actually formulated and designed as a female lubricant. I've gotten reports of women saying that it has helped them with their monthly cycle pain. I've gotten reports from women who've said that they haven't had to follow through with surgery for endometriosis. And then,
so you use RSO extract in making this?
Yes, RSO is blended into the liquid coconut oil and the white grapeseed.
I see. Any other products?
It makes it no. That's pretty much it. And we have developed a new type of cartridge, which is a true full spectrum in a cartridge. So it's a new process, and it takes low temperature, high vacuum, and preserves a lot of the original cannabinoids in the cartridge itself.
So this is a cartridge for a vape pen?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
And I kind of describe it as the exact opposite of distillate.
And so what kind of carrier do you have so it'll flow?
That's just it. We have enough original terpenes in it that it flows.
The terpenes are the
original terpenes. So it still actually tastes like cannabis.
What kind of terpenes are in it? Have you tested the terpene content? What are those terpenes?
Limonene, myrcene, I can't remember.
There's about 50 of them. It's hard to keep track of them all. That's true.
But what's nice about this cartridge is, like I said, I describe it as the exact opposite of distillate. Although it'll have only 40 or 50% THC, it does still provide a head change, but it's the only cartridge that I've run into that actually provides any body relief.
I see.
And that's really exciting. The focus of our company is the therapeutic side of cannabis. So when people tell me that it, made their hand feel better or makes their back ache go away, that's what I get excited about.
I have been worried about these cartridges in vape pens that have, what is it, PCT or
polyglycol, which is
it causes, they say, popcorn lung or degenerative lung disease, I believe, is something that
I kind of correlate that to the e-cigarette shops where you walk in with your big battery mod and they fill it up with polyglycol, and then you add whatever flavors you want to it.
I haven't ever tried that.
May or may not have nicotine in it if that's the reason that you're using a vape cartridge.
Right.
A vape pen.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're not using that. That's great. I've heard glycerin in some.
When you make distillate, it's so thick that it has to be cut down with something. And straight distillate tastes so terrible that you have to cover up the flavor.
Yeah. If at room temperature, it's kind of like taffy.
Yeah. Or harder.
Yeah.
But we've preserved enough of the original terpenes that it still flows, still tastes like herb, and still carries the therapeutic value that cannabis has to offer.
Well, that's wonderful. I look forward. We both look forward to trying that. I can see. We have another phone call. Let's see if we can bring that phone caller in. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hold on one second. I think it's 12. I'm sorry, I was getting to my mom's TV. So I have a medical card, but I don't have a farm, a grower. But my friend hooked me up with these CBDs with, I guess it's got 1% THC, because I don't like THC. I got chronic pain. My bones are really bad, and this CBD is wonderful. So I'd like to grow my own, but I don't even know where to go or how to start that.
Well,
how to get a farm.
Are you in the Portland area?
Yeah. Portland.
There are plants available. Give us a call. We'll be happy to help direct you. Just call our office at that number there on your screen. It's 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. We can help you find some clones. The number's right there on the screen, and it'll be up there for just a minute.
465
235 4606.
4606.
All right. Well,
Thank you
best
very
of luck
much.
to you.
I appreciate it.
And you can leave a message now, and we'll get back to you Sunday or Monday.
Maybe I can get a job picking.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
So if you have a question for us tonight, you can call us at 503-288-4442. We got about 4 or 5 minutes to go here. We have an old friend of ours from right here in Portland who has had all of his videos taken off of YouTube, well, all but 3. And YouTube has censored his video feed. He had 120,000 subscribers and millions of views. Our friend Jorge Cervantes, a real expert on cannabis cultivation. We have a little video here where he's going to explain what's happened to him and our other friends, such as Marijuana TV in Barcelona, and the Greenhouse Seed Company in Amsterdam, and hundreds of others. We'll be back right after this video with Jorge Cervantes.
Hey everybody, happy 420. It's Jorge Cervantes, and just want to wish you a happy 420, and I got to talk to you about some really important stuff. It's about YouTube. And what we have is quite a big problem because they've been taking down all kinds of cannabis sites. And to me, that's really caused a problem. First, what they do is they say your videos are age restricted, then they'll tell you other ones are not suitable for advertising or for advertisers, and then what happens is you can't monetize any videos as if but there's never really been much money in it at all, a few pennies really. And then after that, you're kind of like on the short list for getting strikes. And these strikes, you can get 3 strikes. And the other day I got a strike for content, saying my content was harmful to people. And that really hurt me personally because, gosh, I've never hurt anybody in my life, and that's my last desire. And saying that the content I produce is harmful, that's horrible. So what we've got is the ability to ask them to look at your stuff, your videos, or my videos, and review them and give me the okay and say they're not harmful. But until that time, I had to make all my videos private so I wouldn't get any more strikes. Because see, if you get 3 strikes, you're out. They close your account and you can't do anything about it. You can't appeal or anything. Now I have the ability to appeal. But it's really been a problem. People have been moving to other sites. The marijuana tube, let's see, no, the weed tube, excuse me, theweedtube.com. But those guys have gotten so much traffic recently and so many new uploads that their site's down for a few hours right now just so they can make it work a little faster. Yeah, they had to update some things. And then we've got also Vimeo, which is an okay service. YouTube's got more features and it's got a bigger audience throw, you know, I mean, they're out there to more people. So if you could, please, let's talk about this and let's get some ideas going, because I think if we work together as a group, we'll be a lot further ahead and we'll be able to move forward together and get over this little hump. But we really need to keep our videos on YouTube because it's helped immensely. So happy growing, and we'll talk to you guys. Oh yeah, and then please too, and then also on my Facebook page, and then on YouTube as well for Marijuana TV. That's Marijuana TV. In Spanish, it's marijuana spelled with an H. So they've also mounted a big movement too here in Spain, and they'll pick up Latin America as well. But they've done a heck of a lot. Their channel was actually pulled. Quite a few channels they just delete everybody. They delete all the work you've done. They delete everything, all your videos, all your subscribers. It's and it happens hit and miss. We're not really totally sure why. Some people say it's an algorithm. I don't know. We'll see, but check out the videos there at Marijuana TV. Everything's in Spanish, but así es la vida. Okay, venga, hasta luego. We'll see you guys later. Have a happy 420, and remember, we're sticking together.
Yeah, it's a shame how they're taking all these people's videos down. It's I think it's the advertisers, some of the advertisers, probably the beer advertisers that are losing market share. They're the ones who've been funding a lot of the drug war against us for the past 50 years, it turns out. But
Big Pharma probably has a little play in it too.
Yeah, yeah. I always call him an old friend of mine. Gatewood Galbraith came up with the term. He passed away about 6-7 years ago, so I've kept it alive. He always called them the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate elite, fascist sons of a bitches. So
that's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, but it really says it in a pretty concise way. Names them, but it is a mouthful. I had to learn it though. Once he passed away, I couldn't let that pass.
I could tell.
You know, so yeah. So anyway, we are here live tonight. We got about 6 minutes to go. If someone wants to find your information on the internet or find out where they can find you, where do they go?
So you go to genesisfarms.com. That's with a PH.
genesisfarms.com.
There's a list of dispensaries on one of the resource pages. There's a lot of good information, a lot of good videos. We showed a couple of them earlier. Good descriptions of all the products. We have a lot of, honest to goodness testimonials that we received that we put up on the website. And like I said, the therapeutic side of cannabis really is all about education. So there's a lot of educational material there, a lot of information.
That's what we've been doing with this show since 1996. I think this is show 942 that you're on tonight.
All right.
So we started
I know you've been doing it for a while, Paul.
Yeah.
I appreciate your service in this area too.
I'm glad to do it. You know, we've been educating people about hemp seed oil. We have our hemp flame of freedom here, hemp seed oil burning with a hemp wick. You can pour this right into any diesel engine and turn the key, and that's why marijuana is illegal, along with our hemp twine and of course the hempcrete, great building material, stronger and lighter than concrete. I have some friends who are building buildings out of that.
Yeah, imagine where Oregon would be if we didn't have to cut down all those trees over the past decades.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Or the whole trees on the whole planet.
Yeah.
How many animals and plants would not be extinct now if we had hemp as a resource?
I agree.
So Eric, is there anything you want to say here? We got about 4.5 minutes to go.
I'll do a quick little shout out for the fundraiser we're doing called Hemp Aid for Hemp Stock, coming on June 29th, 30th, and July 1st out in Oregon City. A bunch of vendors. We got a great lineup of speakers and musical acts, everybody ranging from Real One to Ponyboy Los Marijuanas. Our own John Cornett's going to be out there. Busy Bee. It's just going to be a great event.
Timothy Edwards.
Timmy's going to be out there, yes sir. Check it out on Facebook.com at Hemp Aid for Hemp Stock. Check me out, Eric Llewellyn, if you have any questions. We're always looking for volunteers. Other than that, stay off the opioids.
You
Stick
can
with
go
cannabis.
to facebook.com/hempstock and you'll find posters and information there. It's facebook.com/hempstock.
There we go.
Find out more. So, Sean, with your company, Genesis Farms, what are your plans over the next couple of years? You've got to get into more stores here in Oregon? Are you going to stay in Oregon?
I'm going to stay in Oregon. I do have visions of possibly moving the company out to Florida once they figure out their regulations.
It's a lot more expensive to operate there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm in this for the miracle. So I'm very passionate about what we do. We're very dedicated. My whole team is extremely dedicated to the cause. and
I'm glad to see it.
We see
we
what
need
we
more
call miracles on a daily basis.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So,
thank you for that.
Thank you. It's very, very rewarding. If it weren't for cannabis, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And I feel I owe it to the world to share it with them.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. Just look up GenesisFarms.com. GenesisFarms.com.
Come see us at HempFest next week or at Veneta Bud Fest the week after. So
yeah, so that's the Oregon Hemp Fest. It's going to be just outside of Roseburg, outside of the little town of Oakland. You can find out more at OregonHempFest.com, I believe is the right website for that. And we do have flyers and posters for it at our office on Northeast Sandy. If you're looking for a doctor to help you qualify for a medical marijuana permit anywhere in the United States, we do have a referral service. You can call us at this number, 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. We are continuing our battle against an Israeli-Canadian oil company, which is why we have our banner turned around here by court order right now. To find out more, again, call us at 503-235-4606. We're going to go out another song by Timothy Edwards. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Eric. Thank you, viewers. Tune in next week and help us restore hemp.
Like that.
Actually, be the next beat, please. You know, Paul, I've been dealing with the same thing on YouTube. On the Cannabis Saves Lives tour on YouTube. And they won't let me go live on YouTube because I am the Cannabis Saves Lives tour. And so they don't like me having the cannabis word in my name. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can look up the True Timmy.
Yeah, even though it's a long story.
And I'll be at Hemp Aid July 1st. So now is the time of the show for everybody to pull out their favorite smoking utensil and their favorite strain and get high.
I just wanna get high. Now pass me the chronic. And I just wanna get high. Yeah, pass me the chronic. And I just wanna get high. Yeah, pass me the chronic. And I just wanna get high. Yeah, pass me the chronic. And I just wanna get high. I'm here to help educate misinformed people. Call me a hemp teacher. Class sessions under bleachers, smoking reefer. I'm a Green River stoner. Stone like a statue moving past.